Grave Reviews, this is Chris.
Have you trapped the children?
There's no children here. It's not safe for them.
This is Alan, and Chris is right. Grave Reviews is intended for mature audiences. Your discretion is advised. Grave Reviews presents Thursday Night Frights. One is doing fantastic tonight. It is a very special night tonight. We have the opportunity to say hello to everyone, to talk about horror movies, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, someone has a birthday.
Yeah, he does.
That would be Mr. Chris. Chris, how are you, sir?
I'm okay. It's a good day today. Good day.
Good. I'm glad.
Good
So,
day.
so as everyone knows, you can't really have a birthday without cake. So let's have some birthday cake. How's that for everybody?
Ah,
Right there.
nice.
Got a little birthday cake there in the middle of our logo for Chris for tonight. He's got his little bloody knives for his happy birthdays. All kidding aside, Chris, happy birthday, my friend. I am so glad to be able to call you my friend. And on the day that your face pushed against your mother's. Anyway, happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was a good day. It was a good day.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I really am. I'm hoping that you do get a chance to celebrate a little bit. I'm showing that we have oh gosh, we got a bunch of people in the house already tonight wishing happy birthdays. Pop My Culture, I believe that is Miss Chantel. I'm glad that you're here. I saw both LG and Miss Marina both wishing happy birthdays. And hello, Mr. Yabalto. Good to see you, sir. So what are we talking about tonight, Chris?
We are talking about, I think to me, a little hidden gem. 2019's Brightburn.
I
What
agree
if
with you.
Superman grew up, loved, and adored and raised as their own son, but when he hit puberty, he realized, I just got to take over the world now, and you can all burn.
Yeah, there's some definite scenes in this movie where the mom and dad are trying their best to show love and compassion and teach love and compassion to Mr. Brandon, who's our villain of the film, and he is at the same time kind of being brainwashed, if you will, on the other side, right, by his
Deadbeat
upbringing,
dad.
his real dad, right?
Deadbeat alien. Freaking aliens.
Yeah, what are you gonna do with them? What are you gonna do? And unfortunately, we don't have a Bruce Wayne that's willing to to go. Why did you call? Why did you say that name?
Why did you say that name?
To stand up against this guy.
That's awesome.
Brightburn is this is a fun movie. But it was a dark movie because even as a kid, I had said to myself, what would we as human beings do if there was a such thing as Superman and he
Unlimited
decided
power.
you know what? I don't like you. You're gonna
People
ride under
suck.
my thumb.
People, and we all have that mentality. People suck. It's one of those days. Everybody you encounter, people suck.
Yep.
But it's on the surface. Deep down, there's probably some good people out there somewhere.
Yeah.
But one day, just realize, you know what? Probably not.
Well,
F 'em.
all the good people are generally associated with this channel, whether it's my friend Chris and LG, whether it's Smar, but it's definitely the members of our Talking Dead. So that's where all the good people are. Everyone else, not so sure about them. Not so sure.
Yeah, I trust more dogs than people. It's just a
I,
thing.
I like dogs better than I like most people, so I get
It's
that.
true.
I get
Absolutely.
that. So anyway,
But yeah, this is where our little Brandon feels too, man. He's just like, you know what? I like dogs too. And
and definitely not people. Definitely not people.
right.
I really enjoyed this movie. I was actually very pleased when you said to me that you wanted to watch it again, watch it as part of the show, because I had as I said, I really enjoyed it, but I'd also forgotten a lot about it. So it was fun for me to be able to re kindle a lot of the thoughts and the feelings that I have. But I will tell you, there's a scene in this that every single time I've seen it gives me the heebie-jeebies every time. So when we
Uh, oh,
no, it's the lawnmower.
oh,
I don't know
okay.
why. I don't know why.
I've been I've seen some crazy stuff with lawnmowers.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, every single time
I
I'm like, "Oh, don't do it,
I worked
dude."
with an old timer that like, oh, you got to get up underneath there and break it free, and then yeah, it broke free, and it's hydraulic, so it spun 3 more times,
Mhm.
and oh,
Oh,
oof.
okay. So I can tell a really interesting story on that if you'd like. Ugh. When I was traveling for Bridgestone Firestone, I was way outside of Kansas City to where
Right.
between where I was at and where I was going on the highway, I'm looking in miles and miles in both directions and seeing nothing man-made past the highway that I'm driving on. And as I'm coming into town, I see this beautiful John Deere uh, excavator, whatever you want to call it, out in the
Okay.
middle of the field, and it's been buried up to its axles in concrete. So I ask, as I'm there and I'm talking to my client, I was like, "Hey, what's going on with the John Deere down the road?" He goes, "Oh, you saw that, did you?" I said, "Yeah." He goes,
Oh
"That
yeah.
combine was brand new, and it was one of the big ones. It was the ones where you set the
The
coordinates and it
GPS
drives
and
itself
yeah,
around and the whole
right. Oh
nine
yeah,
yards."
yeah.
And, Dad was trying to take the day off. The son was driving it, brand new piece of equipment. Got the front turbines. If anyone's ever seen how those work,
Hmm.
it got a huge chunk of something in it. The
Hmm.
son turned it off, got out, saw that it was jammed, and instead of allowing it the time to decompress, he grabbed a hammer, tried to knock it out, and it yanked him through the combine.
Oh god.
And so that's where that combine sat from day one because, if you all didn't see
Oh.
that in your mental image, let me explain something to you. Have you ever seen a combine where it's throwing the corn husks through the top in the little fine grades? Yeah, that's what happened. So, needless to say, that particular combine is going to be staying right there. So, between that, the fact that I lost part of a finger in an industrial accident,
Hmm.
whenever I saw that scene, every time I'm going, "Don't do it, God, please don't do it."
Oh.
Oh, so bad, so bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's talk about Brightburn.
So Brightburn, yeah, we open up on the small town here in Kansas, and it's a loving family. You kind of get the beginning out to these people wanted a baby and had been
Yes,
trying, and we see something crash to Earth.
yes,
And the next scene we're played is this child growing up. You're left to assume that whatever crash landed brought that baby. You
yes.
think?
Really
Um,
good scene too. The way that they did, graphic effect wise, when they're both in the house and you see the real quick outside and and the red, what looks like a meteor type over the house. It was really
right.
well done. Yes, Shanty, we agree.
Don't
uh,
go riding a bike out there with a weird hat.
Yeah, especially not when there's wind up and around. That's just not a good thing.
Yeah.
So so anyway, um, I love you guys. This is why I love the chat room. This is it right here. Um,
Oh, good.
so the next thing you know, they're showing all the home films on home footage of them with their baby as he's
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah.
Very very touching scenes.
Yeah. And it's a like you get to see this loving family coming up, and the mother has a it's that mother son bond.
Hmm.
You know, that overly, smothering kind of thing. That's her
Yeah,
little man,
yeah,
her little man. And we wake to she's playing hide and seek. He's out there somewhere.
yep.
And, he's basically going to be turning 12. Yeah, we get the Negan vibes, man. Who wants some Negan whistling out there? Like that's the giveaway. That's you get 2 hints or 3 hints, and she whistles and he whistles the opposite back to her.
Hmm.
And they find each other. He scares her, a little jump scare in the beginning. And of course, dad comes in. They've got this huge, huge barn. But it's not like they have, head of cattle or anything.
Yeah.
Looks like they have some chickens.
Yeah, but you can tell that it looks like that at least at some point in time it was used,
Oh
right? Because
yeah,
there's
yeah. It's
definitely
not
hay and things like that, you know?
right. He definitely does some work around it, and he's just afraid that the nails and the boards. And I tell you what, I grew up around barns and sheds, and you couldn't keep me out of them.
Mhm.
So,
Yep, and that is until the hornet's nest, drives you out of
oh
the
no,
out of the
yeah,
top of
and
yeah.
then they're gonna lose.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna get them. So yeah, it's and if let's go inside, we're gonna have big breakfast. You get the hints from this kid goes to school, Brandon, and that he's the very exceptionally smart one, the nerdy one.
And
Picked
he's
on a
also the
lot.
outcast.
Yeah, he's probably bullied and beat up a bit. You could tell that from some of the classmates. But one girl kind of sticks up for him, that says, "Hey, you are special," and you know, th- don't listen to them.
So here's something that I didn't catch the first time that I thought was fantastic, and this one is the reason they're all making fun of him is because the teacher asks if they know the difference between the wasp and the bee, I believe it was,
Yeah.
and he gives a detailed explanation, but he also brought up something that I didn't know is that there is a breed of wasp that can't basically.
Lost their
Um,
ability to make a nest.
yeah, they can't make their own nest, so they go in and destroy the rest of the colony and take over the nest for their family to come and live in,
Right.
which plays a huge role into this movie. So I was like, "Wow, that's a forbearing."
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And it's true. And we get an instant crush on poor Caitlin Connor. Um,
Yes,
that she stuck up with him. He's got the middle school crush on her,
yes,
and well, we find out that Brandon has some superpowers. He's dad's going to go to the seed store. He's left to mow the lawn, and of course,
yes.
son of a bitch and mower won't start. That's how. You know what? I tell you what. In real life, a push mower that won't start could be the valid reason to become a villain in real life.
Yes, I agree. I have a mower here that I purchased. I used it for a season. I couldn't use it the next season, so it's set for a season, for basically for a full year. Brand spanking new, single
Hmm.
pull, start right now. Blah blah.
Right.
I can't get that fucker started to
Right.
save my life at this point, and it
Right.
makes me crazy.
Oh, it's nuts. Instant rage. Instant rage. And you know what? Good for Brandon. He took it out on that damn mower, and
When he pulled that cord and it took off flying across the field, I was like,
it's about
"That's awesome!"
60, 70 yards down into the field.
It,
Still running.
still, and it finally started. Right, that was the
Right.
one pull that allowed it to
That
run.
was the one pull. He just had to pull harder. See, and that's another thing. The harder you pull, it doesn't change.
No, it
So,
doesn't.
that's definitely movie effect right there. But
But
the 60-yard throw, 70-yard throw, that's legit. Those things
yep, I
slap.
would have done it in a heartbeat. This is the scene that I was talking about because when he walks up to that mower and it's setting their blades up, running, and he's staring at it,
Mm.
and he's staring at it, and all of a sudden you see him pick his hand up like this, and he starts to turn it like he's getting ready to put it into the blade,
Right.
and I'm going
Oh,
the whole time I'm going, no, I know what's going to happen, and I'm still going,
mm.
oh god, oh, oh.
It's rough. It's that body horror, man. That gets
Yeah,
me. There's some things that are just the
yep,
thought of it. Not even like the act of itself, it happening is like but the thought going into that might happen is just
exactly.
nerve wracking.
And
Oh
and
man.
and 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 what happens? Of course, he stops the blade stops and it's
Yeah,
bent on
bang.
the hell and back because it can't cut his skin. You also come to find out in the next couple scenes very very quickly the dad says he's never had a cut. He's never even
Yeah,
been
never really.
bruised.
Yeah, never had a cold. Was never sick. And mom just chalks it up, that he's a special baby. He's
Yeah,
just got a great immune system.
he's okay.
He's been lucky, he didn't fall. Um,
Yeah,
right.
Old
No,
Tory Breyer, Elizabeth Banks is who plays this. Tory Breyer, she is definitely the mom that the helicopter mom that wants to put her head in the sand.
right,
Big time.
right. And now this is Brandon. Brandon realizes now with the lawnmower incident that wow, something's going on. So we moved to his 12th birthday party. You know, they're at the local arcade diner, skill crane. A couple gun shooty games, and one of those goofy diner restaurant birthday party cakes that they bring to you. And he even remarks, "This is kid stuff."
Yeah.
And but you play along. That's what you do.
His
It's
his
family.
uncle his uncle says, "Well, if you don't want that, I'll eat it."
Right, right. 'Cause that's so, and do some presents, and Uncle Noah uh basically bought Brandon a rifle. It's the same model that he used to kill his first deer. Now,
Yes.
I grew up at 11, 12. We took hunter safety in school. Learned how to be safe with a rifle in school,
Isn't that
the bow
amazing?
in school. I had a gun rack in the back of my truck, not because I'm a redneck, but after school, I had friends that had hunting property
Yeah.
that I could go score a deer on with my tag. So, but I digress. Um,
No, no, I wanna point that out. I have never been hunting a day in my life,
right.
but it's not because of any I just never really had the desire to go hunting. I have no issues with
Yeah.
it. But yeah, at school, there was all the time, there were people sitting there with, their gun racks, and they'd have a couple guns hanging from the rear, window of their truck.
Yep.
And we never thought
Different
twice
time,
about it
man.
because
Different
they
time.
would same thing, they would be going out shooting, they would be going
12 years
hunting.
old, eighth grade, I think it was. Yeah, seventh or eighth grade, seventh grade. It was an extra activity you could take. You got your hunter safety course, which would allow you to buy now a hunting license, a junior hunting license. You could carry a rifle around to go hunting. You were legit
Yep.
to use a firearm because you were taught how. Say what you want about your stance on firearms. If you're going to touch one, you should know how to work one, all the safety mechanisms for it, how to be safe. Somebody should slap you and say, rule number one is it's always fucking loaded. And
Yeah.
then slap you and say, rule number one is it's always loaded. And then we go from there.
I it's funny, I had, my brothers all hunted, my dad never did, so we didn't have guns per se necessarily handy in the house, if you will.
Right.
Um, I was at a friend of mine's, and we were going to take their rifle out on the side and of the house. Lived in a farm way back in a rural area, and we were going to do some target shooting. And his dad walked out with us, and he looked at me and said, "You You've never been hunting before?" I said, "No." He said, "You've never really fired a rifle before?" I said, "No, sir.
Right.
Today's will be my first time." He goes, "Okay, great." And he walked out with a "Hello, Jessica. How are you? It's good to see you." He walked out with, "Go ahead." Yes, you're
We've
right,
got a new viewer. We got a new viewer.
Jessica.
Jess. One of us.
Gabba gabba, we accept you, one of us. Gabba gabba, we accept you, one of us.
We accept you as one of us, Jessica. It is so good for you to be here. And just a real quick reminder to the Talking Dead: whatever you do, remember always, don't bite the newbies yet. Let's let them at least get involved before you turn them. They're already a member of the Talking Dead. They just showed up, and that's all it takes. So.
Welcome, Jessica.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. You are part of the Talking Dead.
Absolutely, absolutely. So anyway, he walked downrange with the rifle in one hand and set
Hmm.
a jar up on the other hand, and then came back and said, "Okay, are you looking at it?" And said, and he shot it, and it exploded, and it was full of like red Kool-Aid kind of thing or
Okay.
whatever. And he goes, "That's what happens to a human being when you shoot them with a gun. Respect it. It is, and quote unquote, it's always loaded."
Always treat it like it's loaded.
Oh, Santa, you can bite. We just suggest that you nibble first. Be sure that everyone likes it before you grab a handful. Uh,
Yeah, nibbles. Start with the nibbles.
Started with Shanty. We said nibble, with
Nibble.
a B.
Bravo.
Bravo. Anyway, so yeah,
Dad freaks out, which is kind of weird. That dad kind of freaks out. But dad
mhm,
freaks out. It's like, no, what are you talking about? He's just a kid. So to me, 12 years old, yeah, if you, yeah, you've at least touched
yeah,
a firearm, shot at one.
yeah.
Um,
Dad was literally
so
at this point
a
in
little
time.
overprotective. He's
I
upset,
told you no. Um,
and this is we get Brandon like this. This is upsetting. Like this is not what Brandon wants, and
Brandon's give it to me.
yeah,
What? I said, give it to me. I mean, he's really being like
forceful.
very forceful. He's like, and Kyle, Dad, right? Kyle, he's like, no, I don't think so. Get your shit out of your seat and
Right.
get your ass to the car, basically.
Yeah, go.
Yeah.
And we get the another glimpse at the foreshadowing with the waitress kind of looking over and ugh, a
Yeah.
little disgust in parenting.
Yeah.
Uh well, she'll find out.
The
So
hard thing.
we bring Brandon home. They're trying to work out this whole thing. He's changing, like he's hitting that age, he
Right.
must be, it's that angsty puberty stuff.
Well, let's
This
face it. When
crazy thing to go through.
at this point, we're looking at Brandon and his reaction, and you know what, and saying to ourselves, you know what, when I was 13, 14 years old, there was a day coming where I was pretty sure that I was going to be wearing my teeth on a necklace around my neck because I smarted off to my mom, and before my dad could say anything, my oldest brother backhanded me and said, "That's your mother. Show her some respect."
Right.
Right, and so that's when I'm like, okay, I get this. Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
my mistake. you know,
Right.
and that
Right.
was the last time that ever happened.
Right. And we get that comment from, dad. Dad's kind of like, wow, if I did that,
hmm
my dad kicked my ass,
Yeah.
So
And and I did like the fact that Elizabeth Banks' character, Tori, at that
mhm,
point literally said, "This is not something that you could spank out of him."
right. Right.
Right?
This
So
is a big thing. But we go from Brandon sleepwalking out to the barn, which kind of kickstarted this whole thing, to
yeah.
find out what's locked in there. That's what starts these powers. We get this voice in his head saying something over and over and over and over again. Um, he gets these powers, and I love how he's like, I'm testing them all right away. So,
Mhm.
I found out that I have some good, crazy strength. I'm armored, so let's see if we can fly. And uses that to be a creepy little dude, um, creeping in on the one girl that gave him any sympathy, it looks like in school,
Yes.
to send some love songs, playing on her laptop, to hiding behind the curtains to where she calls for her mother to come in
Yes.
and tells her it was Brandon Breyer. And of course, he had an alibi. He was camping with mom
He
and
was camping with
dad.
mom and dad, and this is so right before this scene, while they're camping, Dad's trying to be the cool dad and have the talk with him,
The dog,
the talk,
goodness me.
and
Oh,
and it's funny how he said this. He said, "You're gonna have urges to do things. It's okay for you to have those, and it's okay for you to follow through on that." And he's talking about, of course, as a young man or
right.
young woman, discovering your own sexuality. And he just told this to a kid who doesn't fully understand what's going on with his body, who is having this thing talk to him in his sleep to tell
Right.
him, that this word means to take, right? So he's being
Yeah.
told to take,
Right.
and and he feels like and he feels the stirring for this young girl. So he's thinking, I'm just going to go take it. And my dad just told me it was okay because that's what I have.
Right. It's okay to act on these urges, but it is kind of weird where he's like, you can act on 'em. Oh, like right now?
Yeah. Yeah. No, not right this second.
Not right now. Like, damn, Brandon.
Yeah. But that's where so they're asleep. Mom wakes up, he's not there. He's invaded this girl's house, and they're out with flashlights trying to find him, and just all of a sudden she turns around and
There
he's
he
standing
is.
there,
Went for a wee, a little
Yeah,
wee.
I just had to pee. I just had to
Yeah.
pee.
Right. That's why we're out here screaming for you, and you're over. Why did you pick like the 30th tree down?
Yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, yeah. They were in a
But
big forest. He could have went pretty much anywhere.
he could have went anywhere, and maybe he did. He went pretty far. So he's learning these powers, and at the same time, shit's running through his head, man. Like he's figured out the three words that are being said: take, and then it's take and the. And as this is doing it, he's getting weirder and weirder,
Yeah.
staring at the chickens, and the chickens are freaking out.
Yep.
And then dad comes out to see the chickens are all like exploded and chewed up, and the doors ripped off the
And,
hinges.
and
And
and of course, mom's going, "Oh, it has to be a wolf," and he's like, "How? A wolf
right,
is not going to pull the door off the hinges."
yeah. And we roll to where, because of that traumatizing moment, poor Caitlin, and physical education exercise is the trust fall, where you sit in a circle and trust my classmates to push me around and not throw me to the ground. I don't know
Yeah,
about that, but
I
okay.
don't either.
And it comes to, of course, Brandon's in there, and Brandon gets to Caitlin, and she lets him fall to the ground, calling him a pervert. Um, Coach
Yeah,
is like, you pick him up, help him up, or you fail. So
yeah.
she goes to pick him up, and he just
It
clamps
crushes
down.
her hand.
He
Just
definitely crushes it,
crushes
and then
it.
there's a flick of the wrist where, like, he broke the hell out of that girl's hand.
Yeah,
You
hand and
know,
wrist both gone.
ugh,
Ugh,
the
ugh.
poking and the slapping and the being mean to girls is one thing. You don't break their hands.
Yeah, you don't break them. Don't break the girls.
And if a guy breaks your hand, don't get with him.
No, no.
So, and so he kind of ruins that whole lifeline he's got with her
Yes,
completely. She's scared shitless of him. Her mother happens to be the waitress from the diner.
yes,
And she's in there, and it is kind of messed up that they bring up the fact that she's in there just talking mad shit about this kid and how he's a little demon and a piece of shit. And I love how mom speaks up and is like, are you done? Do you feel better that you're trashing a 12-year-old?
yeah.
Like, let's understand he's 12 years old. I don't know, to that extent you'd want to do it, and you definitely deserve, a good
Something.
fucking core.
Yeah, Dad. Yeah, I can't.
Yep. And the sheriff's there. It's a kid. He can't arrest him. He's a
Yeah.
minor. Like, it's mom and dad come, and he's released to their custody for something like this. This is, you know, it's
Hmm.
all in the school, man. It's
Yep.
part of the things you sign when you send your kid to school. Is certain things are adjudicated through the school. So there's that. And he starts getting away with being a creepy little anti-Superman. Um,
He's like a young Homelander.
Yeah, this is what happens. Like, Homelander has a kid. This is what happens when Homelander raises this kid,
Yeah, no doubt.
because he's on this path, and he's on a path where he's pulling further and further away from his parents,
Yeah.
because he has a dream one night where it's take the world, and he finds this spaceship and falls on it, and for
Well,
the
I love the fact that mom walks in as he's floating above it,
yeah,
jerking, and you hear this voice coming
speaking
out of
in tongues.
it.
Yeah,
Literally, it's what it sounds like. I mean,
right.
again, okay. Now we have to add something to our list, right? We know if you
Right,
find the scroll, if you find a book, it's got human
right.
skin or something other. You don't read it when it's in a
Mustn't read
different
from it.
language.
Right.
Also, if you happen to find a piece of machinery that's going to talk to you in same foreign language that you don't understand, get away from it. Don't listen.
Yeah,
Don't
don't do
repeat.
it. Don't even bother. Don't.
Just
No.
words to live by.
And if you see your kid floating above it, it might be too late.
Yeah, it might be.
You know, uh, don't go towards the light, Cheryl Ann. Yeah. So, so she stumbles in. He falls into this, hidden spot in the barn where they put the spaceship little baby showed up in. And he's cut by the spaceship, and
Yes.
that's the first time that something has drawn blood from this kid,
Yeah.
and
And,
he's wounded. Like, oh no.
yeah, he's looking at it and looking at his hand, and he looks at his mom and goes, "I'm cut." you know?
You got
So,
me.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and all this time he's sketching in this book, and you get a little glimpse of it where he's got some sort of weird hood, and I'll give you credit. Like the by the end, his getup, if he was
Pretty
going
cool.
for creepy urban, or creepy punk rock kind of vibe, he pulls it off. That mask alone just is weird as hell. So he shows up to Caitlin's house, and while
He
she's
brings
all
her he
broken up,
brings her flowers.
brings her flowers, and Caitlin's like, "Oh shit,"
Oh,
like,
God. And
"Oh
she's
no."
sitting there with her hand, like, um, all wrapped up
Fully up. Don't
and
scream.
yeah,
Don't scream.
yeah.
I'm I'm creepy as hell, and right now you're probably thinking I'm gonna gut you, and honestly, I kind of think
Good.
I want to, but I mean that's not really what's said, but that's what's being said
That's
in the
kinda what
scene.
you're
This
thinking
poor
to yourself,
girl
"Is
is
that what he's gonna do?" I mean,
uh,
that's what you're doing at that
it
point.
already destroyed my hand with just a simple handshake. So he's basically says like, "You're the only one that cared, and you're the only one that knows I'm special. Don't worry, everybody else is gonna know sometime soon."
And when she says, "Well, my mom says I'm not supposed to talk to you," and he goes, "Oh, I'm going to take care of
I
that."
got that. I got it.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it. I
don't
fix
worry
it.
about it. I'll fix that.
And he's gone. Poof. And that poor girl's left traumatized again, crying in bed. I feel bad
Yes.
for her. Yeah, and we jump over to him tracking down dear old mom while she's closing up the diner. And oof, when he makes those phosphorescent bulbs blow up above her, that's the part that gets me, dude.
Oh.
Right, right in, right,
Oh,
and
yeah.
oh
A any
man,
anytime that there's, like, something sharp or jagged or whatever that's coming towards the eye, it gives me the willies so bad. So when they showed the
yeah,
close up, she's looking up like this as the lights bust, and as
right.
she's like puts her head down and looks up, and you see the blood, and then it's kind of close, and you see that jagged uh, piece of glass sticking out of her eye. Oh,
And then the practical effects of pulling it out to where it's like the eye holds its shape until it doesn't, and it's like
uh-huh.
it deflates, and I think that's
Oh,
how it happens. Oh
ugh.
my god.
So bad. Oh, oh.
And yeah,
He,
and he's on like creep factor 10, like I am going to play with the people I kill.
he
Frost all
literally
the
is playing cat and
windows,
mouse at this point.
has his double B symbol for not Superman. And basically she disappears. She's gone.
I
Can't find
love
her.
I love the fact that she tries to hide in the cooler, and
Yeah.
the heat vision, and he tears it,
Yeah.
and when he rips it out,
Oh,
I was just
get
like,
out. Oh
"Whoa."
no.
Yeah,
You
you
are not safe. He's like plasma cutter eyes that just went
yeah,
through the door, and
so
he pounces upon her, but she's not found. She's gone.
she's
And
gone.
the police are looking for him. Sheriff happens to see the little double B,
Yep.
um, marked on the window. Like after
I I love the
after it's frosted and you blow a little fog on it and you see what was there that you wrote when it was frosty,
yep,
he pulls one of those.
yep,
Um,
and I love the fact um I'm skipping ahead just a little bit, but
mhm,
I love the fact that he approaches our mother and says, "Hey, have you ever seen this emblem before?" Again, I'm skipping ahead, and
right,
she immediately covers for Brandon.
right.
So again, it's who we're dealing with here. We're
And
dealing with the over.
early in the movie, we're shown as the viewer that he's been writing this. So
Yes.
we not only do we see it, but we know he's leaving these clues
Hmm.
towards it. And he snaps and goes to mom, catches her with the whole "where do I come from."
Yeah,
When we deal with that, where he's trying to deal with that, he looks at it as it's a lie. Everything's a lie,
you lied
all
to
his
me.
life, and smashes pictures. And this parent, kid thing is like it's your kid's out of control, and Dr. Phil's not going to help here.
Oh
Like
no,
it's
no,
just,
no, 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 no,
and how
no.
do you feel about that? I'm like, no, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, way beyond.
This is a he goes to the psychologist and kills the psychologist.
Right. And dad being the big bear of a guy, at one point is like, I'm going to grab a hold of him. And this little kid throws him through the door,
Yeah,
smashes a little
throws him through it
punch.
like he's not there.
Yeah. And dad's like, holy crap. We've got these murders. They're kind of weirdly connected to our son. Our son is telling stuff that we know he's lying. You know when your kid's lying. They
Yeah.
could say something and I know there's a lot of times myself where it was like, just let it go. Like, you think you got me on this one. Okay.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it's one of those,
you know,
is this one really worth the fight or should I just let it go?
right. Yeah. I'll make you think that had no idea.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
you all along. So,
That's actually what you're thinking right there is, yeah, I would have told that same lie.
right. Right. Ooh, you get points for that one. All right. That was a believable one. I don't believe it, but,
Well, yeah.
So they know. And I love how they go from being these super parents that took the space baby in to, oh, he's in the shower. Quick, let's hide in our room so we can talk about the crazy mother over there that
Yeah.
is our son, quote quote marks.
Quote unquote quotes. And he does have to talk to the school psychologist,
His aunt.
which is also his aunt, and
Mhm.
I love that scene because he's like, all she's asking for is a little bit of remorse.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I am special. I am better than everyone else. And
I feel
she's,
great.
I feel great.
I feel
I'm
great.
fine.
I'm
Uh,
gonna have to tell the sheriff and your parents. And he's like, not a good choice for you.
yeah, you don't want to do that. You really don't. That's not a good choice.
Don't do it.
No.
And it's like, I have to do my job. I have to keep you safe. Yeah. Yeah. I hope you stay safe.
Yeah. And,
At this point, he has made the choice. He's
and,
turned to the dark side.
yes. And this is the point where I'm going, oh, you fuck lady.
Oh, it was at that moment. You wish you knew.
Uh-huh.
So he goes home, can't sleep because it's going to bother him now that she's going to tell that everybody that he is, at the very least, a sociopath, if
Mhm.
not with psychotic tendencies.
Yes,
Um,
which we all know is true at this point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's enough murders and mystery people or people disappearing that,
Yep.
you know. So he goes out and shows up at his aunt's house. That's an interesting spot to be like, listen, Auntie, I was thinking, and I think I need to reinstate the fact that you tell anybody, bad things might happen.
Mhm. And she reacts as an aunt would. Hey, listen, I can't believe you're here in the middle of the night. You
Yeah,
probably need to go home.
inappropriate here.
You know, and you're thinking that she's about ready to get it,
Yeah.
but hubby comes home in the middle of all this and discovers Brandon in the house.
Yeah. Uncle Noah comes in after having a few beers at the bar with friends, including Brandon's dad. Goes into the closet. Jesus Christ, what a creepy little bastard sitting in my closet with a mask on while my wife is sleeping.
Yeah,
You don't win points for that one, Brandon.
no,
That's
not at
you
all.
know,
And then he basically, they wind up outside because he's going to take him home.
hmm
And Brandon, of course, lets him drag him out to the vehicle, and
oh yeah,
he's like, get in the car.
yeah, get in. And then it's like he goes to the other side. He's got to get in the fucking car. And poor Noah, man. I like Matt Jones. I loved him in Breaking Bad. I loved
Yep.
that goofy character. He plays. I could believe him as the goofy, friend who is Uncle Noah.
Right.
Um, so perfect spot, but poor guy gets tossed up against the wall and wakes up and realizes that That little kid just did it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm fucked. And
I need to leave here now.
the only thing that bothered me about this is that he had zero inclination that he needed to see. I don't know. Okay, I don't know at this point in time. Should he have went in and tried to save his wife, or should he have left hoping that this kid was going to follow?
This time around hit me. Like, this dude was like, maybe he was trying to lead it away, but
But
you
but
left your wife in there with the psycho.
yeah, because he didn't. Because at this point, I mean, he knew he got thrown, but he doesn't know that he's got super speed. He doesn't know he can fly. He doesn't. He really doesn't know anything.
He's just
And
like,
yet,
what the hell's he does see him hovering. So he's just
but
like,
not. But he doesn't see him hovering until after he's already went away.
right, well, that's true. And poor guy tears off and ends up having the dude shoot through the window on him and get him to stop.
Yes.
Truck shuts off. And Brandon picks the truck up. Beautiful square body, might I add. Up
Yes.
in the air, probably good 40 feet, and lets it go. And homeboy's not belted in there. And
No.
he eats the
Oh.
steering wheel. And
And
that,
when I say he eat the steering wheel, I meant he eat the steering wheel.
oh, it's mm,
He's
holding it
holding.
back. Oh my,
He literally reaches down and grabs his as he's laying on the side. Of course, he reaches down and grabs his jaw and tries to hold it in
it's
place.
rough, man.
And and all of a sudden you see Brandon come over to the window and he kneels down and looks in. So he's looking at him
Yeah, give
and
him
he
the little
reaches in
head
with a finger,
crooked.
reaches in with his finger and swipes a bunch of blood off his face, and then puts his double B on the concrete next to the
Yeah,
vehicle.
which he had to like go in there a bunch of times, and we find out that somehow they find him, and he gets to the hospital, and he's still alive.
Barely.
So but still, he's sat there watching with all messed up in the face area, while his little nephew or his friend's kid painted some shit on the side of the road with my blood.
I will say that I don't know if this was CGI or practical. I'm thinking it was practical, and the only reason I say this is because it was so well done.
It
Um,
gave me some hairs on the back of my neck going,
it
oh,
yeah, and it's funny because this movie, when you talk to people about it, you wouldn't think that the kills or whatever are so
when
violently
there's
done.
gore,
Man,
it is of
it's
some violent nature.
and not only is it violent, but it's so well done that it gives you the heebie-jeebies. It makes you go, "Oh my god, that's it." It literally every single time makes you go, "No,"
Agreed.
every
Agreed.
time, every time.
Yeah.
So
Poor Noah. And like I said, he makes it for a little bit. And of course, Homeboy's able to bounce around and not be noticed. To a point. They know he's lying about stuff. He
well,
shows up late, and plays it off to mom and dad as, oh, they invited me to play soccer at school, and Ross and them, and then they kicked my ass,
yeah,
and
they pushed me down and tore
tore
my
my
shirt,
shirt.
and
Yeah.
blah blah blah, lies.
Yeah, and she tries to take the shirt. No, I got it, and walks away. And both of them are like, he's lying to us, straight up.
Mhm.
We don't know what's going on. They get the terrible call, go to the hospital. He ends up not making it because the next morning they tell little Brandon over breakfast, Uncle
Brandon,
Noah's dead.
you ready? You ready, Chris?
Yeah.
You be Brandon.
Oh,
I'll be mom. You ready? Brandon, I've got some really hard news to tell you. Uncle Noah is he's no more. He's no longer with
huh.
us.
Huh.
Uh,
Okay.
I mean, he's dead, honey.
Okay. You expecting me to cry?
Yeah, this is literally the reaction, and I'm sitting here going, "What the
The dad's in the back, like,
f-"
oh no, we screwed up. We messed up.
Yeah,
We
it was.
messed up.
Oh my god, and mom is still going. Oh, he's in shock or whatever.
Yeah. How
She
can
makes
he do something like that? They found him on the road, and
every excuse she can, and
she is, man. She's mom to the end.
Yeah,
Um,
and this is where dad gets thrown through the wall, and, he's like and you know that at this point, both Kyle, Breyer, and Tori,
right,
mom and dad, they're fighting with each other now because he's
yeah,
going, there's something wrong with this kid.
right.
We need to get this handled. And she's going, there's nothing wrong with my baby. Everything's fine. It's everyone else's problem but his.
Right.
Typical helicopter mom, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And poor dad is at this point like I connected all the dots, and the homicidal maniac is our son, and we
Yes.
should have left him in the woods. And that's that stinger that he throws.
And when he has that dream,
Oh yeah, oh phew, yeah,
I'm like, "Holy fuck." He dreams about the
yeah.
night they found him in the woods, and as she's
Yeah.
turning around, all of a sudden, she's holding him and, she's bleeding out everywhere and
All ends in blood.
smiling and going, "Isn't he beautiful?"
I told you he's just for us,
Yep,
and he wakes up and because he went over he went through the mementos of the handprints and the stuff you have from your kids as they grow up and you
yep.
find them and you're like, oh man. So he has that moment and basically snuggles in and says, I gotta be his dad. I gotta do something. And what she doesn't know is I gotta be his dad. And he's my son, Ma. I'll put him down.
Yeah.
We're old Yeller and
Oh my
poor old
god, did you just do an old oh my god, you just did an old Yeller reference.
yeah. He's
I
he's
can't
my
believe you.
boy, Ma.
He's my dog, Ma. Oh,
Yep.
so bad.
Yeah, and takes him out camping. Brandon gets down, tracking the deer, tasting the poop or whatever he's doing down there, and Dad pops off a shot. And he's
Tries to put him
bulletproof.
out of his misery.
His head is bulletproof. Uh, you fucked up.
Oh boy, did he.
You fucked up.
Oh, and
Terrible.
and
And
he's struggling at this point in time going, like, trying to load it
yeah,
in.
like, oh shit, he stood back up.
Oh my
No. Uh,
I love
and
the fact that at least he did have a reaction, right? He boom, and he reached back
yeah.
and then he's turned around and he's like, "Oh, you're fucked, man."
Oh, and at this point, it seems like he's tolerating mom and dad because they love me. Everybody else can,
Yeah.
and he's very manipulative now, well beyond his years. That
I look at it like this. I'm thinking, he's showing a little bit of respect to mom and dad just simply because they did raise him. They
yeah,
did, they did protect him. They, that kind of
he
stuff. So he feels a little bit of a I'll kill them last.
right. It's very he like super narcissism where he's when he explains to the counselor was that I'm cool with them. They're still my mom and dad, but I know I didn't come from this piece of shit town, and I know I'm something superior than them.
It really is a superior.
Yeah,
Yeah,
superiority complex. Like he says it straight out. Like I am better than everyone.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
and and
and
and he's right.
he
Um,
is
physically,
physically,
emotionally, different thing.
yeah. And we find that this take the world sounds like aliens shot down Baby Not Superman to basically nestle in and then MK Ultra himself into destroying everything.
Well, like he said, his apparently his people, if you will, are like the wasps who can no longer maintain their own homes, so they go in, clean them out, and take over
And
ours
we
in this
take
game.
over. And wow, because dad tries to shoot him, can't get the bullet in, does a little running, and then has a face to face like Brandon, I love you. Like, and through the mask, which is a stitched blanket with the laces that makes it look like he might be, I don't know. It just looks
It's
odd.
funny. I've been trying to figure out what that mask reminds me of, and it just hit me. Um, the and I don't know why. I could be, but Man Thing.
Man thing.
the way the way
Okay.
his face is shaped.
Right.
You know that the roundish and then the drop. I don't know.
I get stuck with what's his name? Uh Zoidberg from Futurama, because he's got the tentacles in the front. That's what. Yeah, like
Oh,
crabby people, look
oh my
like
god.
crab, talk like people. Yeah,
Oh my god. You're on fire tonight, my friend. You're on fire.
I'm trying. And Dad takes it eye to eye, with Superman eyes, screaming the entire way until poof, he is smoked.
Yeah, the only time I've ever seen this type of thing before was on The Boys when Homelander had done that.
Right.
You know, and same thing though.
Same
This was
vein.
done first, so they weren't copying anything.
Right.
But it's literally like whole, the laser eyes and oh, rough,
And
rough.
meanwhile, mom's back on the
Wait a minute,
homestead.
wait a minute. We are doing a superhero show. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile,
Meanwhile, back on the farm.
meanwhile, back on the farm, Aquaman is making a tuna fish sandwich because he can't do shit.
And he's in Kansas, you piece of shit.
Anyway, so
Yeah. So
meanwhile,
yeah,
farm.
sheriff shows up at and mom comes out to meet him, and he's like, "Hey, listen, diner still missing Erica. She's gone still. And now with Noah, we found these signs. Looks like a double
WP.
B. Looks
Hmm.
like a BB. Look familiar to you?" She instantly clams up. Like, "Can I come in?" "Nope.
Nope.
Nope. You can't come in. Never seen it before. Thank you. See you later."
Yeah,
And
you need
he's
to
like,
come.
I'm
You need to
coming
come
back.
back when my husband's here.
I'm coming back. And he leaves, and she races up to the bedroom, to where opens up his notebook to find not only the BBs he's been working on, the costume that he was working on, but him killing people, him destroying the world, standing upon a throne of skeletons, and
Yeah, yeah, and and
oh
and and
no.
him float. If I'm not mistaken, one of them was him floating, holding the K Blazer in the air. One of
Yeah.
them, I mean, every kill he had done
Yeah,
a
everything
sort
there.
of
Yeah, they
autistic,
had a
really,
picture of
really
the
well.
diner. Like, kid can draw too, so he's got all these superpowers, and he can draw. So
Yes,
she's like, "Oh no!" Calls. Got to get a hold of my husband. Oh my god! It rings. It rings. It rings. It picks up. "Kyle, you don't understand. He did it. He killed everybody. He killed everybody. Killed everybody." And it's not him. He's
it's
dead.
It's
It's
Brandon.
Brandon. "Hi, mom." And she's like, "Where's dad?" "Oh, he's
He's not.
gone."
He's not. He's gone. Well, what do you mean he's gone? You know what I
You
mean.
know,
He's gone.
right?
And and here's the thing that he goes, she's like, "Where are you?" He goes, "I'm here." And it pulls out and he's
Yeah.
floating in the sky above the house. And I'm like,
Oh,
dude.
yeah, that was crazy. And
Oh,
then
so
just
bad.
and crushes the phone, and proceeds to pretend there's an earthquake,
Mhm.
by just wrecking the shit out of this house.
And here's the thing at this point is he doesn't really know that mom well, he doesn't know that mom didn't know that
Right.
Kyle was going to do this. So as far as he is concerned at this point in time, she's a liability.
Right. And we're gonna scare the shit out of her. See what happens. She gets through to the sheriff's office, through with some screaming. They send out the sheriff and his deputy. Um, they're trying to get to the door. Poor sheriff
Oh my god,
is like
is
vaporized.
evaporated.
Yeah, he is. Holy crap! He is all pink mist
Yeah,
into the
if
bushes.
you've ever thought to yourself, what would happen to the human body if it was hit with a 130-pound solid mass at, I don't know, Mach 2?
Yeah, and that mass is invisible.
Yeah.
So you just see what the effect is, because that's what it
Oh,
was. He was that man has been turned to goo.
yeah, he was there, and then all of a sudden he was a mist and nothing
Right.
else. I mean,
Now he's on the marigolds.
really, really. It's a good thing they needed a little feeding. See, that's what it was at that point. Time Brandon was just like, you know
Right,
what? I think the flowers need a little
right.
moisture.
The green will be deeper. They'll
Just
double
give them
bloom.
we'll
It'll be
just give them a
beautiful.
little moisture. It just
The
happened to come from inside the
I
sheriff.
love mom's screaming inside. I love the deputies like runs inside and she's like, run and hide.
Yeah, like there's anywhere
Send
you
backup. Send more cops.
exactly. Oh, she was I have to say she was the worst character in the whole show, and it was almost comedic the way
Yeah.
she was acting. But you know what? I loved it.
217 in progress, blah 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 blah. And then we don't see what happens to her. We see like through a window that basically if you could put somebody in a snow globe and
Uh-huh.
then shoot the crap out of it,
Uh-huh.
but it's like a full room. That's what he did to that poor woman.
Oh, it was
You
horrible.
just see her bouncing all over and landing in this. I don't know which is
Pile.
that her face.
Yeah, in this pile. It was just ooh,
Oh wow. And we chase mom all over.
yeah,
Mom realizes, holy crap! When he fell on the spaceship, the
it
spaceship
cut
got him.
it cut him.
It's kryptonite. It's well, crap tonight. Um,
Yeah, or whatever
right.
world he's from, right?
Wherever he's from, that cut him. So got to race him to the barn. Races him into the barn, fall and crash, and she's able to break a piece off of the spaceship.
Right.
Kind of like a big pane of a window that broke.
All right, so let's talk about this for just a second.
Yeah.
This is where I have to go. I had to, while thinking about this movie, I had to create my own lore at this point. Um, he is unbreakable.
Right.
This machine, the metal on it is from his planet and can break him,
Right.
but yet she can reach up and grab it and pull a piece of it off.
Yeah, snap it like it's a pane of glass.
So what I'm thinking, so this is how I wrap my, because I'm one who can suspend belief, and so I
Yeah.
literally in my mind
Make it make sense.
I said, okay, so this thing is just like any other metal on Earth. The reason it cuts him is not because it's stronger, it's because its properties are a property that we know nothing about.
Okay.
So, in other words, it's not stronger than standard steel,
Right.
right? It just because of where it's from, the things that make it
The chemical
react to
composition
him.
help to cut through whatever
Right.
he's made of. Makes
Exactly.
sense.
Okay,
Yeah.
because it's from his
Yeah.
world.
Right.
So if you or I were to go to planet, something something X and Y Z out in space, we
Right.
may be Superman like him because their compounds don't affect our makeup, our genetic
Right.
makeup.
But we could kill them with like pleather.
Exactly.
Like right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Pleather boots on everybody. We dance them up to look really nice and shiny.
Thank you, Ubalto. He just called it. In our chat room, Mr. Ubalto just said horror or movie horror rules. And this one, they all have their own. We all know
Yep.
this.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just a question of whether or not we can buy it. So this was my own canon for this
Right.
movie. On
And
why
it
that
runs so parallel to the Superman story.
Mhm.
The baby from another planet comes into their powers at some point later in life than Superman actually. So it's
So
believable that puberty and
yep,
superpowers,
yep.
shouldn't be mixed.
And you now that you brought that up, I'll bring this up. It's my understanding from what I've read on this is that they had to get DC's okay to make
I
this
bet. I bet.
because it is so, if not, they're going to get sued, right? Because it's so parallel to Superman.
And
Um,
it's parallel in a way to just make you see it something in a different light without really saying Superman,
yep, yep.
But
Hello,
and
Nadia.
it needs it. Hello, Nadia. But yeah, like, it needed that bit.
Yep, yep.
To
And I think that's the reason why it worked is because, okay, not saying anything otherwise, but let me put it to you this way.
yeah,
If Marvel had been approached and said, "Hey, we're going to be making a movie about a super soldier, but he's going to come out the other side insane, and he's going to destroy the world." They would have went, "You're out of your mind." No,
No way. Yeah.
they wouldn't have allowed it. But DC had the balls to look at this and go, "You know what? Why not? Let's see
Go
what
for it.
happens."
Yeah,
Yep.
run with it.
And
Run
and
with it.
and and James Gunn did a great job on this movie. I
Oh,
mean,
it
he
was
really did.
great. And uh we end with, I mean, the ending is crazy. That she tricks Brandon into Negan whistling
Yeah.
to find each other for him to
Sorry.
well, you tell me I'm wrong. I'm not just like
See, you're
uh,
saying Negan whistling, and in my mind, I'm thinking it's Marco Polo.
right, exactly. I mean, same thing. It's I'm just creepy in the background, and I heard you, mom.
Yep.
And he shows up, and she tells him like, "I love you. You know, I'd always be by your side. I told you this that you know it doesn't matter where you came from. I love you, and I'm gonna give you a big hug and die, you son of a. Oh no."
And here's the thing, while I understand that she was trying to save mankind by this, had she
Right.
just stayed with the "I love you, I'm behind you," whatever, she would have been the last to die, and she might have been able to use that piece on him at some point
Right.
versus right then and there where
You
he was on heightened alert.
listen, we went like there was no really grace period between coming of age and villain. Like you need to play the long game, lady. You need to take a piece of that, you hide it in your sock, and you go to the dances and the balls and all of the other things that he has to be like, I'm super powerful. And then you wait one day and you stab him with it. But she went with option B, stab him right away.
Which she should,
Missed,
yeah, absolutely, yeah. I agree with you on this one, young lady, absolutely.
definitely.
For those of you who may be listening at a different time, one of our Talking Dead, which is why you should always try to tune in on Thursday nights, just put in there that she wished that that Gunn would do a deep dive into horror, because would love to see him do something beyond trauma with a big budget for horror, and I agree. And I don't know, Nadia, answering to your question on this, I don't know if you consider Brightburn horror, but I definitely do. It's
Yeah.
dark, it's scary, and there is no hope for mankind. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, she tries to take him
She
out,
tries.
and he's like, yeah, no,
There is no try. Do or do not. And she did not.
she did not.
She
I
did not.
loved this next scene when he took her into the stratosphere. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. We're this kid's dark. Um, yeah, very dark. Takes her straight up in the air and then lets her go.
yeah, it lets her go from like not from a few stories or whatever,
Oh
from like
no, no.
50,000 feet. Because as soon as he drops her, he turns around and looks, and there's an airplane coming in their direction.
Yeah. Bang. And that's where we end our movie is we start shifting into a montage of clips of some news articles that
Mhm.
are playing out in front of us, headlines that there's a plane that went down. We don't know what happened. We're not sure, but there's a double B on it.
And I love the fact that they showed him during all this mess with all the workers and everything, and he's just sitting in the back eating a cookie, like,
Yeah. And we go from that to there's multiple things happening. There's all
yes,
kinds of headlines all around the world that's happening with this little
yes,
double B that's showing up and people he is like the boogeyman. He is Mothman. He is that urban legend
yep.
that nobody can see, but that we all know exists.
Yep, and
Um,
the fact that he was first discovered over Brightburn, the media has now nicknamed him Brightburn.
right,
So that's where his name comes from, which is awesome because we all know that the BB actually is for his name, Brandon
right,
Breyer, but
right.
because he's from the town of Brightburn, that works as well, and that's where the movie comes from. So the ending of this, the first time I saw it, the very end, as you said, when the credits are rolling and you're seeing like him taking out the apartment buildings and all that, I just sat there going, "Damn, we of course, you know
Yeah.
how we okay. So, ladies, you may not get this, but men have a tendency to become part of what they're watching. That's the reason when you talk to us, we don't hear you in the middle of a movie. We are
Right.
actually
We're
in the
there.
movie. We're
Right.
there mentally.
We're there.
And I'm literally watching him do this, and I'm going, "Oh, damn, we're fucked." I
Yeah,
mean,
like,
it hit
oh.
me hard. It really
Especially him just kind of like eating a cookie. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh, he's just sitting back. He likes it, and he's gonna play with his prey.
Yep.
And
And
we
as
get that spatial. I love the addition of Michael Rooker as a newscaster, like the conspiracy. Oh, not quite Alex Jones, but at that level of intensity, spouting about the end of the world,
Yep,
and with all of these different things happening, with
yep.
they're all connected to this Brightburn, um, really good, to the point of, God, I'd love to see a sequel, and
Absolutely. Absolutely.
sons of bitches with their freaking rights and everything else. There's like a whole who owns what, that will probably make it to where a sequel will never happen. So
I agree.
that's where
Um,
James Gunn was
s-
coming from anyway.
so here's the fun thing. We have two people tonight that have been with us before, but neither one of them have seen what happens at the end of our show. So Nadia, stick around for a few minutes. I think you're going to enjoy this. So let me ask you a question, Mr. Chris. On a scale
Yeah.
from 1 to 10, knowing that 1 is a miserable dredge that makes me angry that I will have lost an hour and a half of my life that I'll never get back, 10 being something that transcends um, the genre, and whether you're a horror fan or not, you should
Yeah.
watch it. 5 meaning it hits all the marks, it's good, but it's nothing special. Where would you put Bright?
Everything considered, budget like $6 to $12 million, I think was the budget. 32.9 coming in at the box office, so making its money back. Looking at it that way,
Mhm.
um, budget wise, I really love this movie. I own this movie because
Yes,
it's a good movie.
it
I
is a good one.
love throwing it on once in a while just because the effects are slight enough to where they still look good. Oh, poor Noah hitting that steering wheel still makes me go, oh, yeah. So,
It's not the him hitting it, it's him laying there looking at it and trying to scoop his jaw up and hold it in place that makes me want to
oh,
do it.
just oh man,
Oh, I love it.
again, Nadia hits it with being thank you for one, but I'd love to see Gunn do more horror. I
Yep,
like this style. He's another one that finds somebody that he works with that fits something. He'll
yep,
find something for him. Michael Rooker bringing him in at the end.
yep.
You know, great stuff. I'm going to give this movie a solid 8.5,
8.5.
which is
Wow.
higher than I know Rotten Tomatoes, and this settles into a good B movie. It's not an A movie,
Yeah.
but it's a quality B movie for me.
8.5 out of 10.
Yeah,
Um, wow, that puts it pretty much just a little bit below Pearl in our oh, wow. I don't know if I can rate it quite that high. I would tell you this.
yeah,
We talked about this briefly, talking about the cast of this movie. Elizabeth Banks is one of those actresses that uh, I could take or I could leave.
hit or
She's
miss on a
yeah,
roll.
very,
Yeah,
very much, right? When she does some comedy stuff, it's
that's fair.
hilarious. When she does more serious roles, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not.
True.
And it's nothing against her. I think she's good. It's just whether or not I personally buy her. I thought Kyle Breyer, or excuse me, David Denman as Kyle Breyer was fantastic. I thought he was
Yeah,
great. I thought that Jackson Dunn was great as Brandon. Elizabeth, I was just okay with. I thought she was serviceable in the role.
yeah,
I think simply because, had they had someone who would have stepped up just a little better in that role, I think that I would probably be with you.
right.
But I'm thinking more 7.5 on from myself.
7.5. It's fair. I think the idea behind it is why it rates high with me. I love dipping into that universe. Like you
Yeah.
said, watching it, we become part of it. I love dipping into a universe. It's that theme, man. I love movies that kind of crush hope in a way. don't
Yep.
come across with the Hollywood ending. The guy gets the girl. We break away from those boundaries. Evil kind of wins, or Empire Strikes Back. That darkness settling in,
Perfect,
man.
perfect. Yes, because that's what this movie reminded me of. When I walked out of Empire, I remember walking out and going, "Oh my god, I can't believe that our heroes lost." And Brightburn gave me that exact same feeling because I got done with it going, "Oh shit, we're fucked. We are absolutely fucked." Right,
Yeah.
as a
Oh yeah.
human race, and
Done.
so that being said, here comes the fun stuff. I hope
Fun stuff.
everyone's still around. Let's look at the shit list. So, Chris, would you like to explain to everyone why we call this our shit list, please?
Sometimes hilarious, intentionally tasteless. This list is a list of movies that we feel are entertainment value to us at Grave Reviews. And at some point, we screwed up and we admit to this screw up, but we said from the beginning we're not changing stuff, so we're not changing stuff. That's why some things might be lower than others. We have to deal with it, so you do too.
Yep. And so that being said, we call it the shit list because every time we look at this, we go, "Oh shit, we did that."
Damn it. But
So,
we stick with it. We'll
yep.
just keep moving things around until maybe it'll sort itself.
It's not. It's getting
No,
worse.
we screwed it
It's
up
getting
once.
worse. All right, so Brightburn, as of right now, this is the 39th movie that we're going to add to our shit list.
39.
I'm going as much as someone that we know and love is going to hate this. It's going above Sharknado. Um,
Definitely.
would you put this movie? I'm thinking that for me, this movie is
Yeah, where would you go?
okay because the list is kind of screwed up, right?
Right.
I think I'm looking around the Pet Cemetery mark.
That's what I'm out just outside of the top 10. Why is
Yeah,
Dog Soldiers number 15? Because. Because why? Exactly.
exactly. Yeah, because hey, it's at 15
High praise.
because Zombievers is at 27, and we don't know. And
Yeah,
we
we
love that
screwed up
movie
there
as
too.
well. It's not my favorite, but it's one of my favorites. I think The Howling is my favorite. That one's probably my second favorite.
Right.
Okay, because Nadia hasn't seen the list before, let's go to the top and we'll work
Let's
our
go
way
to the
down.
top. We have what happens to be, in our opinion,
Yeah,
our
the
movie
greatest horror
going,
film of
movie
all time.
loving, best movie, let alone horror movie. We thought that The Thing reigns supreme. Pearl, excellent,
Pearl,
excellent movie.
yeah, Pearl to me is nearly
Hardcore.
Trick or Treat's just one of the funnest things
It's
ever
fun.
going. It has great werewolves, by the way.
Right, right.
um,
And from there on, we had a lot of movies, and sometimes we drink a little, and we have to suffer our own actions. Evil Dead Rise, good movie.
oh, great.
Carrie, excellent movie. We have our top 10 here. I don't think this breaks top 10.
No,
Not for me.
no, no.
I'm pretty good with right around Pet Cemetery,
I will tell you
Mother's Day.
this. Uh,
Well,
we're
what do
gonna
we've
have
got below
Naughty, you and I are
Mother's
gonna
Day?
have a talk at some point about that one. I want to understand why.
What?
I think why don't we do this? What? Oh, this is gonna be hard for me because you know how much I love Tucker and Dale.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking that this movie may be God, I Mother's Day, I was surprised on how much I
Personally,
love that movie.
I really
Yep.
liked Mother's Day. Where it sits with Dawn of the Dead with me, very close.
Yeah.
So I would put it at 13, shifting Mother's Day down.
Really,
That's where I would put it.
I'm actually putting it I was thinking between, Dog Soldiers and They Live.
Somewhere in there. Okay, you
Yeah,
know what?
I'm
It's a
thinking right
spot.
there.
Dog Soldiers, Dawn of the Dead, and this movie, I would say, are close to me for entertainment value that I would
Yeah.
rewatch.
Okay.
So I'm okay with that. You
So
know,
so we put it at 16? We put it between
let's put it at I I think they live
well,
so
let's move it up
sentimental.
here. Let's move yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Uh, Roddy Piper, man,
Uh,
John Carpenter. I
What do
It's
I
just
what am I doing here? Why does this list suck so bad?
it sucks because sometimes hilarious, intentionally tasteless. We went from that to well, shit, we made a list.
Why what whose idea was the list anyway?
I don't know. I
So
don't
you're
know.
saying 17?
Um, jeez. You know what? I'm okay because we've already said that between, you know, outside of our top 10, we could swap a lot of things back and forth,
Yeah,
depending on the day.
yeah.
I think it's better than Little Monsters. I enjoyed Little Monsters, thought it was fun.
I thought it was fun too, but I agree with you. I like this one.
Dog Soldiers is a gem. Like I said, this is a gem. Dog Soldiers is a gem that got overlooked when it came
Yep,
out
yep.
completely.
And
For
we've got several on our list that are like that.
yeah,
That most, Odd Thomas is another one that people should have um, understood.
yeah.
Because Pearl is nearly perfect.
Because Pearl is creepy. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Mia is just phew.
Hit me up, Nadia. We'll talk about that in detail. Yeah, because right now, to me, Pearl is just um, as a movie itself is just it's nearly perfect, nearly perfect.
You know, but I've heard the argument to where she comes from, and I get it. But
Yeah,
it's how it's how you view a movie too,
yep,
and
yep.
how you can enjoy a movie. Sometimes people are different, and that's okay.
That's okay. And and
That's
and
okay.
and Nadia, that's also why we look at this list and call it the shit list because there's going to be a bunch of people going to look at this and go,
Right.
"What the
There's
fuck?"
someone in our chat that will like threaten to cut us because we put Sharknado where we put Sharknado.
Yeah, and
Um
and 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 not only that, but also you gotta keep in mind, we're only talking about the 39 movies that we've watched so far.
right, not
Um,
at all time. Not of
yeah,
all time.
yeah, this
If
is
it's
not a
not
num
on the list, we didn't cover it. That's
yeah,
where it's going to get really hard because there's some great classics out there. There's some
yep.
great newer movies out there that could be top 10 and definitely are top 10 worthy. So it would be interesting to see where they go.
It's gonna be fun to see, yeah, absolutely. And another reason we call it the shit list, Nadia, is because once it hits the list and then it stays there. Uh
Never. You don't have to take that kind of negativity, Nadia.
Nope. And you'll never get that from us because I'm gonna tell you right now, we know that some of the stuff we like's crap.
Yeah.
Let's face it, we purposely picked um, Swamp Zombies 2 and
Hmm.
Thanksgiving as movies to review.
Yeah.
Just and we did it on
Right.
purpose with intent, even. So what you're saying to me is that 17 Brightburn, that's where we need
I'm
to be.
good with 17. I'm good with 17 there. Roddy Piper takes little Brandon Breyer third round. So
So you know
let's
what
lock
happens
her
next,
in.
right?
Lock it in, buddy.
Bam, locked in. It
Number
is
17.
locked in. All right. Damn, that was a fun talk tonight. I appreciate it.
Fun movie.
To those who are not with us normally, Nadia, you added so much to the conversation tonight. Shanty, you as well. We appreciate you. Ubalto, you're great as always. We were also very glad to see our newbie, Miss Jessica Jones, in the chat room tonight.
Yes. Thank you.
If
Thank you.
and Absolutely, and if you guys get a chance, give her a little nibble. She's already a member of the Talking Dead, but let's convert her over and make her full time a part of us. So, our next venture. I know we don't normally talk this way, but come sit with us next Tuesday if you haven't yet, because we are going to be talking about our next episode of Midnight Mass, and oh my God, it's getting so good.
Having I will say bring in Tuesdays doing what we're doing over there. I enjoyed being able to talk about a show episode to episode. Um it could the Netflix, you know, dump everything all at once. We end up binging stuff and then we talk about things completely out of order because we've already seen it at least once. So playing it one by one has been fun. So yeah, we dive into the next book of oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah. I was actually talking to a good friend of mine who's a diehard horror fan just this week, and I asked him flat out. I said, "Have you watched Midnight Mass yet?" He's like, "No, I'm still watching this, this, and this." And I was telling him about our channel and how we're doing it week by week. He goes, "You know what?" He goes, "I'm gonna try to catch up as quick as I can. So hopefully,
Cool.
at least by your later episodes, I can stop by." I just absolutely I absolutely just love the show. And again, everybody, thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for stopping in to wish Chris a very happy birthday. If you guys have X, um, Twitter, or as we like to call it on this show, Twix. Just be sure to look him up and give him a big happy birthday. So, and they're talking bad about me in the chat room right now. I don't dislike The Exorcist. I just don't think it's as great as everyone says it is.
Right.
I was scared to death of that movie until I watched it and went, "What the was I scared about?" It almost struck me as a comedy. Um,
Maybe one day we'll cover it.
yeah, maybe we will. I actually was more frightened by the subtle horror of The Omen when I was a young man watching it. So,
Another good one.
great,
Another good one.
great, great,
Yeah.
great, great movie. So that being said, Chris, is there anything at all that you would like to say to the chat room tonight, or to the audience who will
Uh,
be listening later?
yeah. Everybody here that wished me a happy birthday, thank you very much. It was a great day. I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to be sitting here with my brother Alan talking about some horror movies. This was one of my favorite movies. I don't know why. It's just a dark movie. Love it. Um, if you want to catch us, see what we're doing, be up to date with stuff, see our goofiness, our shorts, go to bio.link/graverev, GRAVEREV, and you can get links to our TikTok, our Insta, our Facebook, our YouTube. It's all in one. There's an email in there. You got some ideas, you got some suggestions. We will listen, we will read them, we will maybe if you got an idea, we could bring you on. We've got a lot of things in the works for what we're doing down the road.
Hmm.
Tuesday's our grab bag. Thursday we cover live because we love our Talking Dead live and love that moment to be able to hang out with you guys and talk about stuff like this movie. Other than that, thank you for listening. If you're listening to this as an audio podcast, I suggest you come on over to Thursday nights for Thursday Nights Fridays live. Be part of the Talking Dead in our living dead room. Other than that, stay spooky, friends.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I agree with that. If you get a chance to swing by and say hello on the Thursday night live, or on Tuesday night when Chris and I are live in the chat room, please do so. We're definitely a visual medium. I mean, Chris is a handsome man. He's got great dimples. You're going to want to check that out. And I try. So that being said, again, thank you to
Sexy.
everybody for thank you everybody. Hey, I have the voice, he has the face. That's all there is to that. That all being said, ladies and gentlemen, as Chris said, stay spooky. And as I like to say to you every single time we sign off, until we meet again, may all your nightmares be groovy. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Bye bye now.
See ya.